Hey guys, it's Pod EDC and today I'm going to talk about this first EDC knife that I own. It's a CRKT CEO. So let's get started. So firstly, I'm going to talk about the knife characteristic. The first thing is this knife has 4.45 inches blade length overall. So if we are going to compare this knife with popular knife out there, we have the CVV Elementum and also the Untitled Rat number 2. So you can clearly see that the CEO is a little longer than these two, but it is way slimmer and thinner look, so which is pretty cool. And also the CEO has 3.11 blade length. We can compare that with the CVV Elementum and also the Ontario Rat number 2, so we can clearly see that the CEO has a little longer blade length than these two, which means that the CEO is not a small knife, right? Or not a super small knife. So next up is going to be the blade steel. So it's XCR 13 MOV. Well, not great blade steel, but it is easy to sharpen because like the age retention is not as good. But well, when you talk about the scenario that this knife was made for, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna talk about that later on. Next up is the locking mechanism. It's a line lock right here. You push the liner down and then boom, you can close the knife. And the knife weight at 2.1 ounces. So not super lightweight, but it is light. So I'm gonna talk about why it's not super lightweight in later on. So alright, so I've been using this knife for quite a like half a years now, because it is my first EDC knife. And yeah, I get into the EDC world for possibly half a years, and I would say I kind of like this knife. So I'm going to talk about the good thing and the bad thing that I find when I use this knife. So firstly, first good thing that I noticed is this knife looks very good, right? Of course, I'm in kind of like office environment and I'm not into like the tools or some of those stuff. I don't use them every day. And like this look just caught my eye. Like I buy this because of that, right? And I love that. Next up is the action of this knife. That thumbs up right there, when you deploy the knife just flies out. I feel like this knife is really like automatic knife. I used an automatic before, like that push button and the blade just flies up. This knife has that feels as well. You just flick it up and the knife just flies up there. It feels like if you deploy this knife with some with this, it's nearly impossible to fail the deployment. So very cool like that. Okay, next up is this knife has super cool pocket clip. So the pocket clip of this knife is a very nice recessed screw, but you can clearly see that the handle is not mounting, and sorry, the pocket clip here is not mounting inside the handle, right? However, if you take closer look, there will be a section elevating the pocket clip or elevating the handle to match the pocket clip right there. So when you slide the knife inside the pants or inside your shirt, it just go in. It's not gonna stick around this like this edge right here. So that is very cool and very good as well. And the last thing is the scale of this knife is it has very nice touch to it. It's like I love it. So that's very good. So that's all about the good that I find when I use this knife. The next is what's bad about it, right? First thing is when you use this knife, oh no, wow, never fail, right? When you use this knife, you can clearly see that it's not ergonomic, right? It's not good, because look, it just that straight handle. It doesn't have any shape, doesn't have any curve. of course it's not good for that. So when you use it, just like a tiny little bit of hard work is not. I don't feel like this knife is for that, right? Even cutting some cardboard feels not. I don't feel so good using this knife when I get to use something better already. Like I used to use just this knife to do a lot of stuff, but this is like, yeah, it's okay. It's there for easy work, but a little bit hard working work, it doesn't work. Next up is going to be the how to close that knife, right? You can clearly see the knife is like the knife. It just is there, and the handle is it's just like that. You don't really have the space to put this light and lock, right? So if I don't use two hands to do it, if I want to use one hand, I have to dig my thumbs inside this little hole right here to close the knife. And I mean, like, it's okay for me, but I don't know if somebody's gonna have a bigger thumb than me and might have some problem doing it, right? I personally don't really have the problems, but maybe it is a problem. So that's kind of that. Next stuff is going to be the thumb set right here. I feel like, well, maybe just because it is my first EDC knife though, I feel like this is a little bit of learning curve. Because if we, like for the rat, for example, you use thumb slot, you just put your thumb there and you flick it up, right? And it deploy, right? Very, very easy. But the CEO, you can't really do that. It's special, right? It doesn't work, right? You have to like flick it there at that angle, exactly angle. Oh no, sorry, like it's a little bit hard on the camera, sorry, but like, so I feel like that's a little bit of learning curve, and that is on the bad side because you can't just like get the knife and then figure it out immediately how to deploy it unless you are into the knife over so long, I guess. But that is something that I kind of feels like it is something bad. So next stuff is this knife. It was made to be like a pen carry or the shirt carry, something like that, right? Because it is so slim, it tries to be the pen, right? But well, the problem is, for me, it is too big to be the pen. If you shove this knife into the shirt, what happened? The shirt will deform because the knife is just it is too heavy, right? So it like it can't really be what it meant to be. So that is also the bad thing for me. Like this knife will have to be inside the pants, the jeans anyway. It's not gonna be on the shirt pocket, in my opinion. So that's kind of that. But so yeah, who is this knife for? I believe that this is the perfect knife for the guy that in the office just like me, where you don't use them every day, but it's very nice to have the cutting tool with you. And this is very good because like the blade steel is okay, right? You don't use that very often, so that lack of good blade steel doesn't really affect you that much. You don't have to sharpen very often anyway, so that is very cool. And also the cool looking knife that is like, look, if you pull this out, no one knows that it is a knife, and that is very good in the environment for me, right? But I can't really deploy it because if I deploy it this way, everybody will scream. I did that, I tried, so that's kind of that. Okay, yeah, so that's who this for, in my opinion. So, and this knife is also comes cheap as well, is $40 US. And I believe because it was released for quite a long time, you might get it even cheaper. So that's good, right? So overall, this knife is a very slim, minimal style knife for the light use. That is all about the knife. Is it is very good for the price. So that's it for the CRKT CEO. What do you think about this knife? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Leave me the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you like the video. Have a great day and bye bye.